Okay, so season 4 has officially begun now. As you can see there, everything has reset, which is somewhat disheartening, somewhat mixed feelings considering how much work I put in there. So I made the last day I made a bunch of progress. Actually got to 1700. So as you see there, I got to Challenger 2, got to Honor level 175, got a achievement. Um, yeah, yeah. So had a whole bunch of things happen. So um, good news and bad news. So I didn't get the full set. However, this is still the current set for season 4, so there's still a chance to get the helmet and the shoulders. So yeah, I will take that. Still don't know how to get the head. Look this up because I was trying to spend all my currency because I wasn't sure if things were going to reset or not, and it was just getting time to do something with it because I wasn't spending it on anything. Um, and this apparently seems to be a bug. So I actually saw something that somebody posted on the official Blizzard forums where they had the same thing. It's apparently a bug. So I have both leather helmets. So I'm assuming when they fix the bug that the appearance will become available. I'm hoping. So yeah. So there you go. So as I said, I spent all the conquest I had, got 30 chests, so I will distribute those sparingly to characters as soon as I either level characters up and or figure out which ones to give them to. So you got to be level 60. So yeah, so my vault reward will be the same item level as what I was able to upgrade my gear to. So it'll be Challenger 2, so it'll be 262 gear. So I don't know that it's actually going to be an upgrade for anything. That's all I have are just the 3 PvP rewards. I was 1727 for last week. So I actually did pretty good. Did more of what um, I had a closer week to what my experience was during season 2. And I think in total I won 113 games out of like 331, so about a 33% win rate, which is not great. However, when you exclude the games where I could have done something different, um, there are so many variables. There were so many groups where you could go down the list of criticizing the group leaders or the DPS or just a lack of teamwork, strategy, basic fundamental understanding of the battleground. Pretty much you name it. So I'm not going to beat myself up too much with that because it wasn't all solely, obviously, my fault as a healer for losing all of those. So we have a belt. We have nothing helpful. Okay, I don't have the belt for some reason, so I guess we'll just take the belt. I've got the chest, and yes, okay. Mm-hmm. And yes, I spent most of my honor on basically weapons, gear, bought some missing pieces to some sets, upgraded any gear I could, and then basically just bought the chest to get marks of honor. And then for conquest, bought conduits on a few different characters, weapons, things like that. So I should pretty much have everything now. At least everything that I would have wanted. So yeah, there's nothing to nothing to upgrade. Nothing seems to have reset yet with currency, so I don't know if that is. It's going to stay that way since we didn't change patches, we just changed seasons, or if that'll be coming later on down the line. Oh, it did cap Conquest. I take that back. It capped Conquest again and it wiped out my total. I had like 23,000 for last season, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, and I think that was it. Okay, so I spent most of the last week of season 3 doing Mythic plus dungeons. And there you go, you can kind of see I got to 2144. Got pretty. Got into some pretty high keys. Started doing plus 13. And then it was a grind. Got to 2000. So I was 1850 on Tuesday, which was reset day. And I got to 2000 the next day. And then failed to realize that they had raised the rating that you needed for the mount for season 2, and for the current season, season 4, it's 2000. For some reason in season 3, they raised it to 2500. So I was trying to grind to 25 because it was 500. I thought, okay, I can do this, maybe, and got to 2100 pretty quickly from 2020, which is what the rating I had when I first hit 2000. And then it just kind of was uh, kind of a grind from there. So it was just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and then yeah, went over on a couple keys. Redid those keys 2-3 times, still went over. So a bit unfortunate. So I had mixed feelings. My goal was to reach 2000, which I did. So I'm confident I can do that again this season. Um, so yeah, didn't get the mount though, and it was just a really weird grouping up with people was just really weird. I would say the biggest thing was while not while I did not have the best DPS in the world, I would say the biggest problem was tanks and healers. It was necrotic week. It was a whole like people were joining keys that didn't seem to understand either the mechanics of the dungeon and or what the week was. So it was uh, it was quite the experience. I tried to join a plus 14 and couldn't get into a group for plus 14, so I was just trying to work on my lower keys to get those higher. And when I started going over, I said, okay, I think I'm more or less done. So I tried doing some PvP. I had kept an eye on groups, and there just really weren't any groups that were um, filled me with confidence to join. There were a lot of groups where they were either unranked, they either had no ranking or were under 1,000, or they were like higher level groups or something, some groups with like a specific requirement to join. And I had been having luck joining groups that specifically said like we're trying to increase our rating. So around 14 to 1600 typically, I could get into those groups and seemed to have pretty good luck. Like I did more in a day or two than I did for like the last few weeks trying to get to 1800. So um, we'll see what happens this season. I'm not haven't done anything with it yet, so haven't decided how I'm going to approach it. I am going to, whatever I do, I am going to do it more kind of casually and see how the season seems to be, because there just really weren't a lot of players playing until like that those last few days there. So I'll have 3 vault rewards for Mythic. I would say offhand I did 15, 20 Mythic Plus dungeons. All 272, so they should be an upgrade. Finally got this trinket to drop. And it's an upgrade, so I'll probably end up taking this. Your range attacks and abilities have a chance to summon a millennial that throws unstable goods at your target, dealing pretty good arcane damage, 5,160 arcane damage. So I wonder if these are like the flaming packages from the Postman fight. Um, yeah, that's a tier piece. And that's the exact same necklace. So yeah, I'm actually going with the trinkets. During my time trying to push my rating, I tried all sorts of things. I moved my I moved my gear around or swapped my gear around. I briefly swapped back to marksmanship. I did a little bit better in beast mastery, so I swapped back to that. I looked some things up online just to make sure I wasn't missing something. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. So I think I want to replace this. That has speed. A lot of hunters had solely secret technique. I had briefly swapped this back out for inscrutable quantum device. Um, as I said, I'd looked something up. It had talked about kind of bouncing back and forth between trinkets, but this is definitely better. So, do I want to replace this with this? I think so. So this was upgraded to 11 of 12. Um, is this an on-use effect? No, it's an equip effect. Yeah, I guess to play around. Did it actually? Nope, didn't even upgrade my item level. Wow. I don't know. This is a more complicated decision than you would think it would be. So this gives me a stat and agility. This gives me agility and speed. And the speed actually proved to be quite useful in haste. So this is giving me... Same thing this is giving me. Yeah, I can lose the haste because my weapon's enchanted. So... yeah. I'll try that. We'll see how that works. And go from there. And yeah, I have nothing to spend. I upgraded most everything to at least 9 of 12. The only thing I know that I had that was fully upgraded were these shoulders, and I got these as a vault reward. Yeah, or like my weapon was, I think from time walking or something, some such. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I've swapped my gear around. Trying to stack more critical strike. Um, it I kind of feel like I screwed myself up because I was doing reasonably well, and then I started to kind of overthink it and look some things up, make sure I wasn't missing anything, and there were some guides that were very specific about how you use barb shot and multi-shot and different things, and it kind of screwed up my confidence a little bit, and um, I just kept kind of overthinking and second guessing myself. So my mastery was already so high to begin with. This has always been my highest stat, and then I got critical strike a little bit higher. Which from everything I've seen, I hadn't looked up like what the stats priorities were for Hunter. I just kind of was playing around to see what seemed to work best. If I could do it over, I think one thing I did that um, maybe wasn't the best was I should have focused on fully upgrading one set of gear, and I kept swapping pieces in and out, upgrading different things. Because that was part of the problem is there was gear that I wanted to use, but it wasn't upgraded as much as it could have been. Um, I was very persistent in. Um, I was just going to use um, my niche little build, and had I only needed to get to 2,000, that would have been fine. Um, but trying to push further than that, I hadn't planned on um, doing keys much past 11, 12. Um, it kind of seemed like being that you can do 2 weeks worth of dungeons um, for tyrannical and fortitude. You can get to 2,000 pretty pretty easily, I would say. Past plus 10, the difficulty seemed to spike again. Um, Like the 13s that I did fine. We really didn't have too many issues. And then it seemed like it reached a point as the week, um, as the week went on, as especially as we got towards the end of the week and the weekend. Um, I don't know if people just kind of gave up, if people had stuff to do, but it seemed like um, it was more unfamiliar, under-geared players than geared, knowledgeable players about what to actually do in the dungeons. Like people didn't know mechanics of dungeons, and they were trying to do like plus 10, 11, 12, 13 keys. So yeah. And that is not even counting the dungeons that we didn't even finish because we either went over time and somebody left, or as I said, there was a tank healer. It seemed to lean more towards tank, but there were a few healers that didn't seem to understand, um, what necrotic was and what the different affects were. So yeah, so there you go, folks. Uh, that was the last Great Vault for season 3. Um, all in all, didn't do bad. I finished maybe not as well as I would have liked on some things, but pretty close. So considering everything, I did put in quite a bit of an effort. So can't feel too bad about that. So now I am kind of refocusing on what I want to do for season 4, since it kind of came about in a weird way, I think is safe to say. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.